and welcome to the second lesson on That Intel Guy YouTube channel, brought to you by HM Intelligence. This is something I think I might do weekly, so if you have any suggestions on what you'd like us to cover, just drop them in the comments below. So in this quick lesson, we're just going to cover off what the intelligence cycle is and go through each individual part: direction, collection, processing, and dissemination. And then we'll just conclude with a summary. So, what is the intelligence cycle? It's the backbone of intelligence analysis. It's a guiding, systematic, and organized process to transform raw data into valuable intelligence. It comes in different varieties. The one you see on screen is the most basic. There are others that separate collection and processing out into further steps, but this is what I was taught, and this is the one I use when I go through the intelligence analysis process. One thing to keep in mind is that it isn't a fixed cycle, so you don't have to completely go through the entire cycle before going back to different steps. You can chop and change between as required. It's not rigid, it's more of just a way of thinking through the whole process from start to end. So firstly, direction. This is the initial phase of intelligence and involves establishing your intelligence priorities, objectives, or requirements. During this stage, you should be working with the intelligence leaders or decision makers to understand their key areas of interest, any potential threats, and critical information needs. This process includes determining the strategic goals of your organization and assessing the operating environment and establishing any priorities that align with the overall mission or objectives of your organization. Your objectives are then set, and out of these come some clear intelligence requirements that can be refined down into what is required for the next stage. As part of this, you may need to clear some assumptions. It's best to do this early so you're not working off kind of wrong intuition. And also managing expectations. This is more of a requirement for corporate intelligence, but making sure that the decision makers and people giving you direction understand what is actually possible within your realm of intelligence. So then you have collection, but before you jump into the exciting part of actually collecting the information, you need to come up with a collection plan. In the military, this is quite an inbuilt, sophisticated process that involves managing and tasking a wide range of collection assets like OSINT, HUMINT, SIGINT, etc. But in corporate intelligence, this is much more understanding what can actually be gained and where it can be gained from. Whether if you're working in like a due diligence sphere, you may need to get on the ground collectors to go and get certain information from government departments, depending on what jurisdiction you're working in. Just understanding this better. This is part of the collection planning part of the process, so that you know what you're getting up to. You then have your actual tasking of assets and collecting relevant information. In the military, this will be tasking off human assets, IMINT assets, or SIGINT assets to go out and collect the information required for this operation. Or in a corporate intelligence kind of case, this could be getting local agents to go out and collect the required information from a country's company's house, etc. Or it could be collecting the information online, as is much more likely the case in a corporate intelligence space. And then you have the third part, processing. This is where some people may have broken it out into two different parts of the intelligence cycle. So firstly, you need to sort, filter, and organize the information you collected. In the modern era, you're probably going to have a lot of information. There's a thing termed information overload, where intelligence now is getting far more information than they've ever had, and one of the big things is going through it and figuring out what is actually relevant to your task, and you only using that. After you've sorted, filtered, and organized all your information, it's in a usable form, you then formulate your assessments. So you go through, figure out what is actually going on, apply some critical thinking and structured analytical techniques to answer the questions that came out of the direction part of the intelligence cycle. We like to term this the so what. This is a term you would have heard if you've been on our page for a while, but answering the so what, that is the core of intelligence. you need to boil down what is the so what, and are you answering it for your decision maker. And then lastly, you have dissemination. This is quite possibly the most critical part of intelligence, because if it isn't disseminated correctly, then what was the point of the entire cycle? So you take the information you've analyzed and you put it into either a verbal or written product. This needs to be tailored to your decision maker. The information should be succinct and clear so that the people you're talking to know exactly what you're trying to get across. Try and remove any complicated language or jargon, especially in situations where they're definitely not going to know what you're talking about. Try and remove acronyms they might not understand. Just make it clear and succinct to the point. You want to be answering their questions, giving them the so what, quickly and clearly. Decision makers are generally busy people. They don't want to spend time reading your essay. This isn't university. You're not writing an essay. Keep it short, keep it sharp, and to the point. Also, if you can, try and make it a two-way street. If this is a verbal presentation or a one-on-one briefing, try and get some feedback. Try and get some questions. Better understand. Help them walk through the intelligence. Make sure they understand what you're trying to tell them. And then, once it's all said and done, even written products, get some feedback. Understand, was it useful? Did I answer their questions? This can be then fed back into the cycle to make sure that you are providing the right type of intelligence, the right way, to the right people. So, that was the basics of the intelligence cycle. As I said, it's a good process to keep in the back of your mind when you're conducting intelligence analysis. It's good to go through the process, make sure you understand it. That way, you're getting the most out of the intelligence analysis process. Also remember, it's not fixed. If you need to go backwards, ask for more direction, or go back and collect more information, it's not a rigid, structured process. You can go backwards and forwards. And always keep in mind, trying to answer that so what. If you're keeping that in your mind when you're formulating your assessment, you should be 80% of the way. And just a quick plug here at the end. If you enjoyed this video and the way it's structured, you can check out more of our intelligence training. It's in the description below. We offer courses in intelligence analysis, intelligence collection, dissemination, due diligence, which is corporate intelligence, and travel risk management. If you're interested in any more courses, check them out in the description below. We truly appreciate your support. Thank you for watching this week's intelligence lesson. As I said, we're going to try and get one of these out every week, so make sure you drop your ideas down in the comments below, and make sure you like, share and subscribe, all that good YouTube shit to keep that algorithm happy. If you want to check out our first lesson, it'll be on the screen right now. We truly appreciate your support, and we'll see you next week. See you!